right, guys. Injuries from the game. Trent Williams had a groin, didn't return. Jalen Moore had a concussion, didn't return. Brock Purdy, stinger, didn't return. Aaron Banks, toe, didn't return. And Ambry Thomas, the hamstring. Go ahead.
What's your message to the team after a game like this?
I thought we came out hard, ready to go. Offense, defense, special teams. Getting the safety, moving the ball. But, for that first half, when you have those 3 turnovers and you do those things and you miss some opportunities and you're down 16-12, you got not much to show for it. I thought we blew a bunch of opportunities in that first half. In the second half, when that third quarter was a rough one. When we get another turnover, the 100 yards in penalties, and when we had that punt and the false start before it, I believe, the personal foul out of bounds, we just twice our defense had it on their side of the 50 in the third, and then unraveled after that. So anytime you got 5 turnovers, over 100 yards in penalties, that's how it should be. And
the reception that brought through is separate, but was there anything generally going on that they were doing or that he was a little off on that you can just kind of describe what happened with those picks?
Yeah, the one that he was off on was the first one. Just read the coverage wrong and didn't expect someone to be back there and made a bad decision on the first one. Second one, corner made a hell of a play blitzing. He couldn't get it over him. The guy tipped it and ended up making it to himself. The third one, scrambling, I didn't really see what happened on it. I saw the end result. I don't know what happened on the ball, whether 14 made a play, whether they both hit it at the same time. But he broke out of the pocket on a big third down, had George and 14 coming back to him and threw it right at them, and it just bounced up and got another tip. And then the fourth one in the third quarter, and he was making the right decision, going to Christian on a check down, and someone hit him from the right side, and the ball came out sideways and went right to their linebacker. So I thought, the first one was a big mistake, and the other 3 was pretty unfortunate for him.
He hasn't had a game like this, really. But what did you see in his demeanor just as this was going on? What did you see from him?
I didn't mind his demeanor. He stayed in there, kept battling. Our whole team struggled there in the second half, so it just wasn't him. I know he was disappointed not being able to finish it there, but getting that stinger again, it was just wanted to keep him out of there and ready for him to bounce back next week.
Could he have gone back in if needed?
Possibly. I didn't even ask. I know he had a bad stinger, and we had 3 linemen out at the time, and I don't want him to go in and not be ready for next week.
You're concerned about beyond this week?
Nothing I'm concerned about, but you know how stingers are. It could be worse tomorrow, but I think he'll be all right.
Ambry Thomas's hamstring injury related to Jason Verrett going in the third quarter?
No, we wanted to get Verrett going a little bit just to mix him in there, get his feet wet. It's been a while since he's played, so he's been doing some good things in practice, so we wanted to give him an op out there just a little bit, and then I think we mixed in some more as Ambry had that, but also went with Luter a bunch too.
Well, he's mostly played outside in his career. It seemed like somewhat of a big ask. He hadn't played since 2021 into playing the slot. Did you guys consider, is this maybe too much in a game like this to put him out there?
That's what he's been playing here these last 2 weeks. That's what he played for the 4 weeks he was in Houston. That's what he wants to play, and that's what we think he looks the best at and where he can help us the most. So we think all the NFL games are big, regardless of which one, especially this time of year. And we felt he was the best guy for us with how practice has been going and for our roster right now.
Do you have any early sense on Trent's groin injury?
I don't. He tried to go back in. Trainer didn't think it was a good idea, so we'll get the MRI tomorrow and see how it goes.
You mentioned that third quarter. You just haven't seen this team kind of get knocked around for a full quarter. Do you think they got demoralized a little bit? What was kind of the feeling as that was happening?
I don't think we did anything on offense, and we turned it over. Then we had the punt, which basically was a turnover because of their return, and then the personal foul. And, that's a good offense too. There's some guys that are hard to tackle. They are going to do that. I thought our defense came out ready to go, and we're doing a decent job. And they only can do it for so long. I thought the way we were struggling on offense in the third quarter led to some missed tackles. I think we gave 5 first downs on penalties today. Saw all that happen. So, no, I'm not going to sit and say they're demoralized or anything. We weren't very balanced throughout our whole team today. And I thought they came out ready to go, but when you turn the ball over, it doesn't really matter. And then the way that third quarter went, that was some bad football. And by the time the fourth started, it was out of hand.
Your play calling in the first
first quarter was very aggressive, 10 passes, 5 runs, and a lot of throws down the field. Was that your plan coming into the first quarter to attack with the pass like that?
No, it was to be balanced. We just, it would have came out. We finished with a pick and stuff, so it wasn't any. We didn't make a conscious decision we're going to come out throwing. It was some of the looks we had, and felt we were moving the ball pretty good doing it.
Well, it's been so good almost every single week. Can you almost say, hey, he was due for something like this, and let's see what happens next? Can you put it in context like that?
I mean, I just think the fact he's played this long and never had a game like this, I mean, is pretty unusual. I think that's the reality of the NFL. I'm not saying it's bound to happen, but, I mean, wish he didn't have as many picks today. But like I said, I think one of them was one he'd really like to have back. The other 3, I think, were unfortunate. We played a good team, didn't play our best football today, and that's what happens. We lost a game that we really wanted to win. We knew this was a big one. Our guys are real disappointed tonight. They should be. But when it comes down to it, we're still in the same situation that we were before the game started, and we got to take care of our business, and that's why it's all right to be upset tonight. We put a lot into that and didn't get out of it what we expected to. But we got to make sure we're ready for Washington when they come back on Wednesday, and coaches will be in there tomorrow, but a short week will keep them away and make sure we got a game plan ready for them on Wednesday.
Did the offense feel like it went back in sync on the McCaffrey touchdown drive where you got a lot of the yards and you finished it off with a touchdown? Did you feel like it was back, or that was things were still discombobulated?
No, we didn't feel like it went away. It's hard to, you don't score points when you turn it over, and we turned it over 3 times in the first half, and I think we had 9 yards of play at halftime. That we got a number of explosives, and we had 13 points to show for, or 12. It was 12, right? With the safeties, so we got 10 on offense, and I was just thought we were doing some good things. We just, in order to score, you can't give it back to them. You got to finish, and whether you're kicking a field goal or crossing the goal line, and when we were moving the ball, it doesn't matter how you move the ball if you don't score, and that's what we didn't do today.
Some of the guys had a pretty specific game plan to keep Lamar in the pocket. How do you feel like you defended him today, and do you think the defense played well enough to win, all things considered, like ignoring the penalty?
No one played well enough to win. I think if everyone looks at the score and see how that went, I was encouraged with a number of things. I loved how they came out. But the penalties, the number of first downs, there was times I thought we did a real good job containing Lamar. But just as a team, we gave him too many opportunities. And when they get too many opportunities, to me, based off our team, it's he's going to end up having his. And he did. He made some plays. We missed some tackles, which he's going to do to everybody when they get in space. But we had our moments. But those moments, you got to capitalize on them in all 3 phases, and we didn't.
How do you expect?
Going into the bye, you said that you thought that your team, your defense looked tired. Is that at all a concern as the year's ending, that fatigue might be an issue to end the season?
I think that is for everybody. No difference in anyone, but we're the same as everyone else in the NFL right now.
How do you expect Brock to bounce back from a game like this?
Brock, he'll bounce back. He'll be in there tomorrow looking at the film. He'll come to Wednesday ready to go. Hopefully his stinger clears up, which I expect it to, and our whole team will bounce back.
Stephen Darnold.
I thought he came in and did a good job, real good job. Led us to a touchdown there. Wish we would have scored again there at the end. He was in a tough situation there with some of the 2-minute stuff, some of the guys who were, just in and out with, some of the receivers, the O-line, just some of the injuries and substitutions we had. But he had good command, and I didn't see what happened at the end. I was looking down the field. I don't know what happened on the sack, so I'll review that. But I was happy with Sam.
Offensive line injuries. Was Banks a re-aggravation of his turf toe?
They said it was his toe, and it was the same foot, so I'm assuming so.
And then if Trent or Jalen can't play next week, is Burford the next option there?
Yes. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks.
Put this one in perspective.
Yeah, mixed emotions about it, honestly. We know the recipe for winning football games for our team. Like, we got to take the ball away on defense. We didn't take the ball away. We got to protect the ball on offense. We gave it away. So when you do that, that's how you lose games, And so even through all of that, had we scored on that last drive, we would have been within 1 score and had a chance. But right at that point, it's like, man, you're grasping to try to find a way back in the game. But we didn't execute. They were a better team today.
4 despite being -3 in turnover margin. Are you happy about that in that moment, or are you regretting, like, hey, we had opportunities to really get a big lead here if we didn't have the turnover?
Both. I think obviously we have to have a way better start to the game in the first half as a team, and then in the second half, even if they do get the ball on defense, we can't let them score touchdowns. Like, we got to find a way to either get the ball back or settle for 3, and we didn't do that in the second half. We just didn't play good enough to win the game.
Well, there was at one point, you and Dre and Nick were having a talk on the sideline early on, trying to figure out things. What was that about? Just trying to solve what Lamar was doing offensively?
I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I mean, we came into the game saying we had to stop the run, and I feel like we did that in a big way early on. As you know, Lamar made some big plays with his legs and extending some plays, and we knew that he was going to get his. We just had to get ours, and we didn't today. We had to find a way to take the ball away to get us back in that game. We just couldn't do it.
This big picture, you guys came in here controlling your own destiny. You still do. So what's the mindset of now on a short week and ready to go to DC?
The mindset is you can't let one turn into 2. You gotta wipe this one, learn from it, of course. Watch the tape hard, be honest with yourself, but you gotta get back to work, get right back to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't let this, affect our confidence as a team. We know who we are. We got to come back on a short week and go on the road in a big game and find a way to win one game.
Just one of those examples where this sport can just humble you at any time.
Absolutely. That's it. Merry Christmas.
And from your perspective, what was this game like for the offense? Kind of the problems that the Ravens posed for you and Brock before that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a really good defense, really good scheme, and then, they have a really good offense as well. So, I think, we just got to look ourselves in the mirror and figure out what we can do better.
The intermediate game over the middle is usually a bread and butter for you guys. You've got those 2 good linebackers. Does that affect things? Is that not as much an option in this game?
Yeah, I mean, they're backers, and like I said, their entire defense did a really good job. But there's always ways that we can find a way to move the ball and that way. So, yeah.
You guys are always talking on the sideline every time you come off the field. Did you see any difference in Brock at all? Did he seem frustrated, or is it just the same guy that we always see? No,
Brock's always very poised, very mature, and he always has that next play, next drive mentality. Yeah.
How did it feel? I mean, your first extended action in this game after a while. It's been a while. So how did you feel out there? The operation of it?
Yeah, the operation felt great. Obviously would have liked to get that last drive in the end zone, and tough to take a sack there on that 3rd down and leave you with a tough 4th down try at getting a touchdown. So, but yeah, I thought could have done some things better, but overall the operation, yeah, was pretty good. All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Merry Christmas.
Mary Chrysler. Why is there?
How do you feel after this game? The 5 takeaways, obviously, or giveaways were pretty key, but just how do you leave this game feeling?
Well, no, it's kind of crazy. I felt really bad during the game, like, a lot of turnovers and putting our defense in horrible situations constantly. They still did a good job, held them to a couple field goals. And then at the very end, it's like we score a touchdown, Ronnie scores, and then we're going down again. It's like, hey, there's 4 minutes left. Football, anything can happen. So proud of the way the team fought at the end. Proud of Sam coming in and throwing some darts. Overall, yeah, I mean, we got our tails kicked in, on Christmas Day, national television. So it's not really fun, but it's one game, and we have an opportunity to, short week, go get another win and then it's just, hey, got to win the next one too. So it's on us. Disappointing, but it's not like the building's on fire like that. Like sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. A lot of tips. I mean, like there are a lot of crazy stuff happen. So not incredibly angry right now, just disappointed, but I still think we have a pretty good football team.
You haven't seen Brock have a game like this with, tips, whatever, but 4 interceptions. What was it like kind of seeing it happen, and how did you think he handled it all?
I think Brock's fantastic still. I mean, just his mindset and, handling it, like, stuff happens. They make plays. They're very good. They're the 1 seed in the AFC for a reason. They're guys you get paid to make plays too, and so they had our number tonight. I just kept telling Brock, just keep slinging it, man. We're a 1 seed in the NFC for a reason because you sling the ball, you get it to our playmakers in space, and they had a great game plan against us tonight. They had a lot of great, those turnovers are huge, and I don't know what else to say besides when you have. I mean, the last turnover is what it is at the end of the game, but when you have 3 turnovers in the first half, it's just tough, and that they're not all on Brock, but it's just hard to win.
You're -3 at halftime, but only down 4.
That's cool, right?
Yeah. What's the thought process going in the second half? Like, are you
Thought process was we got the ball, go down and score, but unfortunately we went 3 and out. Pretty sure we punted, then had a penalty, so basically gave them the ball at the 50-yard line. And, I mean, that's basically a turnover in itself, so that's tough. I do love Mitch getting a hit in, though, so I'm proud of him for that. Probably not the best time for it, but I love it when my punter's physical. But, yeah, I mean, it just we did have a chance there at, going in, 3 turnovers but down 4. But once we did that, they scored, and then I'm pretty sure we had another turnover. They scored again. You're like, okay, well, we're going to have to be pretty clean here on out. And unfortunately, we weren't until, we had a good drive down there to get 1 more touchdown, but we weren't really in a rhythm tonight.
The team had some explosives. You had one early on.
I felt fast. I look fast? Thank you. I know. I think I maybe kept it outside. I don't know. I got to see it.
Was there anything, though, that defense was doing differently than we haven't seen? Was the middle a little more covered than normal? What do you think you'd say generally?
I think looking at it, they did a really good job. Like the first couple series, they came out and just had different defensive fronts the whole time. And so, you're trying to go against nickel, you're going against base, 5 down, 4 down. You're trying to call the right play to go against those things. And I think we're doing a pretty good job with that, but that is difficult. And I don't know if that, hurt our rhythm at all like that. But, yeah, I mean, I'm going to give them credit. They won the game, forcing 5 turnovers. But, I mean, at the end of the we weren't allowed to really run our entire offense just because we had so many turnovers, especially there in the third quarter. But, yeah, they obviously did a great job of taking away our middle stuff. Anybody else?
What part of this game just surprised you the most? What you guys prepared for, what you practiced, what you thought would happen to what happened tonight?
Well, I think the NFL script writers did a great job tonight. I've never seen Brock Purdy throw 4 interceptions before. Like our team does a great job. Our defense, fought their tails off every time we, put them in a bad spot. I don't feel like I've been a part of a 5 turnover game since like 2018. So just surprising, I guess, when I look up and, the one where they had the corner blitz and got tipped for an interception. I'm run blocking. I'm just like, why is Brock Purdy making a tackle right now? So, just stuff like that. You just don't see it very often, and, that's the game of football. Sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way, and, hey, what are you going to do? You're going to dwell on it, or are you going to move on and go try to kick someone else's ass? Thanks, guys.
What was the most difficult part about going up against that defense?
The most what? Sorry.
Difficult part about going up against that defense?
Yeah, they were sound in what they did. I feel like they did a good job all around, starting with their front, the guys in their secondary. They did a good job just all around. And so, they're a good team in general. When they had the momentum, they kept it rolling. Felt like there was just like some tight windows and stuff. Not a lot of room for error in terms of my decision making and stuff. So, but overall, they did a good job. They came ready to play.
Was the first one the one you wanted back the most?
Yeah, I mean, that starts it off, you know. Obviously, we were rolling. We had the momentum, had some really big plays on that drive. And then, you know, I throw the ball like that to end the momentum that we had. So for me, yeah, that definitely hurt. Wish I had it back. I wish I would have progressed and just checked it down and kept the drive alive. So definitely got to learn from it.
What did you not see? To explain it to a layman, what did you not see on that play that
I saw Debo flash a little bit. And in that play, if we had quarters with two high safety, Debo wasn't necessarily a thought. I'm supposed to progress. And so I thought I saw some space early on, and I threw it late. And then the safety made a play and picked it off. So clear as day on me. I got to progress. So.
The third interception, the one you tried to get to Kittle, were you aware of the flags that were on the field at that point, or are you just still trying to make it?
Yeah. I saw some flags thrown, you know, as I was scrambling and stuff. Not exactly sure of what or who it was on. And so my mind was trying to make a play. And honestly, I can't make a bad play worse. I have to know that that's, you know, on us in terms of the flag. Just by some body languages of our O-line and things like that, I did see that. So for me to throw across my body back in the middle of the field with a guy on George, that's very dumb of me. So I've got to throw the ball away and you know, live to fight another play and punt and be willing to punt. So that's something I got to learn from in the hard way.
Rob, what do you do to shake this off?
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. You know, we have some opportunities coming up, and we still got 2 games left in the regular season before we get in the playoffs. And so for me, trying to look at the big picture of what we're trying to do, what our team goals are. But at the same time, man, I have to look myself in the mirror and ask myself why or how that happened and why I made those decisions. And so our team came ready to play. And, you know, for me to make some decisions like that, it pains me, you know, and it's not fair to these guys. So I have to realize that and understand that, and I have to get better for my team. So.
Was the stinger, did it seem similar to what you experienced in Arizona, and how concerning is that?
Yeah, I mean, I played the whole game fine, not thinking about it or anything. It wasn't even a thing. And, you know, just the way I got tackled on that play, it sort of just lit up again, just like last week. So I had to go through the whole, you know, protocol process on the tent again and everything like that. So that's just sort of just how it went down. So.
When you talked to Kyle, were you saying, I can come back in, or what was that discussion?
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about just the scenario of the game, where we were at. Just got a stinger, and you know, my arm was coming back, you know, feeling normal and whatnot. And so he was just like, where we're at in the game. You know, Sam had gone in and scored, and he goes, for right now, we're just going to go with Sam, just by how things are going. And we didn't want anything else popping up with the stinger and all that kind of stuff. But it was just where we were at situationally. So Sam was doing good, and we rolled with him.
You've been so good for so long, so many weeks. When this happens, as it's happening, does it feel different? I mean, you've been so even-keeled while it's been so high. What is the mindset as things are kind of tumbling away?
Yeah, you know, for me, it's like, you know, I got to ask myself, all right, like, who are you? You know, what do you stand for? You know, who are you when things are good? Who are you when things don't go your way? It's easy to, you know, be riding the high and thinking you're the man when things are going well, winning games and all that kind of stuff, and you don't really see, you know, a whole lot of adversity in some games and whatnot. And, you know, this is the reality of the NFL. And so for myself, I obviously have to look myself in the mirror, watch the plays where I need to get better, make some cleaner decisions, help my team, you know, put up points and score and protect the ball. And when things don't go my way, it's, you know, understanding, you know, I can't be acting out. I have to be real with myself and be better. But I want to be the same guy every day, you know, be consistent in what I do and how I do things, whether things are going well or not. I know who I am, and I'm not going to waver in that. So I've said that before, and I'll continue to hang my hat on that.
Just to be clear on the stinger, did it dissipate pretty quickly like it did last week, or are you still feeling it right now?
No, yeah, it eventually over time it had gone away, and you know, at first it was just on fire and whatnot, and but over time, just like last week, it came back. So, correct, yeah.
Rob, as you mentioned, learning how to be able to take a punt, is that a challenge for you to be able to say, okay, be more conservative and allow the offense to punt in the situation?
Yeah. You know, I think it's, you know, easier to do so when, you know, you don't have that many turnovers going on, or the game, you know, is a close game and whatnot. But, you know, and things are, you know, in my mind of, all right, you've messed up a couple times. I got to find a way to make a play. Like, that's where I think I have to grow and be willing. Like I said, a bad play happens, just throw the ball away, punt the ball. You know, the game's still manageable to come back, and those are things I have to get better at and understand. So, yeah. Thanks, guys.